Alrighty, welcome back to the Two Witnesses Live. I'm your host, Watchful. It's October 17th, 2025. I'm actually trying something new today. We're using software for the broadcasts rather than a platform. The idea is this will allow us, this will allow us to make clips easily of the live stream. So when there's something interesting to clip, it'll also allow us to remix the video. So one of my objectives is to constantly improve the stream. So every day I'm always looking for something that we can do to improve the show, to make it more entertaining. We also now have a Discord. I have no idea how to give people access to it yet, but your chat messages here show up in the Discord, and vice versa, like Discord also on here. So constantly improving. This is step number one. How do I sound? How do I look? Let me know. So let's get into this. So welcome back to the Two Witnesses Live. This is the place where we cover the posts and the tweets of the two most controversial men in the world right now, Donald Trump and Elon Musk, in the off chance that they may very well be the two witnesses. So let's get started by having a look at our boy, Donald Trump. Let me know if there's any sound issues or visualization issues, if you will. I'd appreciate it. All right, let's make sure we got the latest stuff here. All right, third-rate Congressman Thomas Massie, a weak and pathetic rhino from the great Commonwealth of Kentucky, a place I love and won big 6 times, must be thrown out of office ASAP. The incredible people of Kentucky's 4th Congressional District gave us a mandate to make America great again, and the person that will help us do that is Navy SEAL, Army Ranger, and 5th-generation Kentucky farmer, Captain Ed. All right, we got to read a little bit of this. Let's see. Captain Ed, where'd he go? Place I love. Credible 4th generation, make America. 5th Congressional Kentucky farmer. Oh, it was right here. Captain Ed Gallerain, a true America First patriot, a brave combat veteran. Ed knows. So what is this for? This is for Kentucky. So if you're in Kentucky, make sure you vote for Captain Ed Gallerain. And that's all we're going to say about him. Just because we got more to get into. What is this? I think this is an ad. Maybe not. No, is that a post? Oh, no, that's a picture added to the post. I don't know. Truth Social sometimes is hard to figure out. All right, whatever happened to Senator Rand Paul? Rand Paul, he was never great, but he went really bad. I got him elected twice in the great Commonwealth of Kentucky. Rand Paul, whatever, wasn't he the one that was questioning Fauci when it came to gain of function research? Because I believe he's a surgeon. And he continued to press Anthony Fauci on if he did anything in gain of function research. And man, the way that Anthony Fauci responded reminds me, it reminds me of the spirit of Antichrist. And this is something I wanted to talk to you guys about. So I typically assign 3 attributes to the spirit of Antichrist. Deny the Father and the Son, deny that Jesus came in the flesh, and deny that Jesus is the Messiah. But there's a 4th one. They're liars and deceivers, and I think I may have been deprioritizing that as one of the attributes. It may actually be one of the primary attributes of the spirit of Antichrist, and I really kind of started thinking about this when thinking about recent debates with people, to where no matter what you do, they can be looking at something and outright denying that they're looking at it or that it means what it means. And the reason I was thinking about that is because that's exactly what Anthony Fauci was doing. Is Rand Paul was asking him, Was he performing gain of function research? And Anthony Fauci was saying no, he wasn't performing game of function research, and Rand Paul would continue to go through um, all the attributes of gain of function research, and Anthony Fauci would be like, "Yeah, we're doing that. Yeah, we're doing that. Yeah, we're doing that." And he goes, "So you're doing gain of function research?" And he'd come back and go, "No." I mean, like, that is a liar and a deceiver. Tim Pool has a really funny analogy to where you can be describing a door to somebody, being like, "Yeah, why don't you go walk through the door over there?" And somebody would be go like, "I don't see a door." It's the wood door with the handle. That's not a door. Well, what do you call that? That's an opening. It's just like people are just so weird. It's just like they can be looking at something and absolutely refuse to acknowledge that it the logical conclusion of something, and they just outright lie. So I think that was Rand Paul that was doing that. Anyway, long rant, because I really wanted to talk about that Antichrist. I think that is, by understanding the attributes, it makes it easier to identify. And the cool thing about the spirit of Antichrist is it's one of the places in the scripture where it literally says, this is how you test if somebody has the spirit of Antichrist, which it may not actually say if somebody has the spirit of Antichrist. I think it says, this is how you test if a spirit is from God or not. And it literally gives you these tests. And one of them is are they liars and deceivers? So I'm wondering if, like, when you're in a debate with somebody and somebody just outright refuses to acknowledge, like, the words written in front of their face as something, that's like a spiritual blindness. And I think that's an attribute of that spirit of Antichrist. They're liars and deceivers. Anyway, let's continue on. Whatever happened to Senator Rand Paul? He was never great, but he went really bad. I got him elected twice in the great Commonwealth of Kentucky, but he just never votes positively for the Republican Party. He's nasty. He's a nasty little guy, much like Congressman Thomas Massie, a.k.a. Rand Paul Jr., also of Kentucky, which I won 3 times in massive landslides, a sick wacko who refuses to vote for our great Republican Party, MAGA, or America First. It's really weird. You gotta love this guy. You gotta love the way that he confronts people. I mean, it's just amazing. This is fire from the mouth. I love it. That's an ad. George Santos. All right, so definitely voting season here. I know we just got some ballots in the mail, so I guess it's time to vote. So if you're in one of these areas, pay attention, I guess. George Santos was somewhat of a rogue, but there are many rogues throughout our country that aren't forced to serve 7 years in prison. I started to think about George when the subject of Democrat Senator Richard Da Nang Dick Blumenthal. Oh my God. Richard Da Nang Dick Blumenthal came up again, as everyone remembers. Oh my goodness. As everyone remembers, Da Nang stated for almost 20 years that he was a proud Vietnam veteran. Having endured the worst of the war, watched the wounded and dead as he raced up the hills and down the valleys, blood streaming from his face, he was a great hero. He would leak to any and all who would listen, and then it happened. He was a complete and total fraud. He never went to Vietnam. He never saw Vietnam. He never experienced the battles there or anywhere else. His war hero status and even minimal service in our military was totally and completely made up. This is far worse than what George Santos did. And at least Santos had the courage, conviction, and intelligence to always vote Republican. George has been in solitary confinement for long stretches of time, and by all accounts, has been horribly mistreated. Therefore, I just signed a commutation releasing George Santos from prison immediately. Good luck, George. Have a great life. That was the weirdest lead up to that ever. Okay. Oh yeah, my flag. That's a generated image. It's actually usually projected on a green screen. So Linda Scott had said, to me, you're sounding fine. And picture is fine. The flag appears backwards to me. But I don't know if it's a picture flip I always thought the stars went on the right side. Yeah, okay. There's a couple of things going on here. It's just me trying to figure out my software. Um, you know what it is? It's because I flipped my camera. So I could fix it if I did this. If I did that, that's the right way it is. So it is actually correct behind me. But because I flip my camera so that it makes it look like I'm looking at the texts, that's why it makes maybe I should pick something better than the American flag, or figure out a way to where that's not a distraction. But for today, we won't. Today, we'll just put it back like this. Thanks for pointing that out, Linda. I'll fix that. If I put my head up there. There we go. All right, moving on. George Santos was somewhat of a rogue, but there are many rogues throughout our country. That was such a weird blurb. All right. Thank you to North Carolina's incredible Republican state legislators who just introduced a new, fair, and improved congressional map, a situation I'm watching and strongly supporting very closely. It was my great honor to win North Carolina 6 times, including primaries in 2016, 2020, and 2024. And this new map would give the fantastic people of North Carolina the opportunity to elect an additional MAGA Republican in the 2026 midterm elections, which would be a huge victory for our America First agenda, not just in North Carolina, but across our nation. Remember, I won the Electoral College 312 to 226 counties, counties nationwide, 2,700 to 525, all 7 swing states, a landslide. And now I have the best polling numbers I've ever had. Our party has never been more united, and we are getting so much done for the American people because of it. Therefore, I encourage all of my Republican friends in the North Carolina legislature to work as hard as they can to pass this new map so that we can continue our incredible record of success. It is wonderful to see Republicans in the Tar Heel state standing up to save our country and make America great again. Thank you, North Carolina, MAGA 2026. Hoorah. Yeah. Okay, this is an interesting one. The meeting with President Volodymyr Zelensky of Ukraine was very interesting and cordial, but I told him, as I likewise strongly suggested to President Putin, that it is time to stop the killing and make a deal. Enough blood has been shed. With property lines being defined by war and guts, they should stop where they are. Let both claim victory. Let history decide. No more shooting, no more death, no more vast and unsustainable sums of money spent. This is a war that would have never started if I were president. Thousands of people being slaughtered each and every week. No more. Go home to your families in peace. I almost wonder if these numbers aren't included in the end times, where it talks about the amount of people who are expected to die as a result of the end time events. Okay, I expected to get more feedback on that meeting, but I guess that's good. Good enough. Guess we'll see what happens as a result of it. A blue slip means that if you're a Republican president and there happens to be just one Democrat senator in a state where you are appointing a U.S. attorney or district court judge, you will never be successful in getting a Republican confirmed. In other words, blue slips are a disaster. And I have 8 great Republican U.S. attorney candidates who will not be able to fulfill their service to the people of a state that voted overwhelmingly for me. The only one I can appoint is a Democrat, and that's not the deal. Nobody can say that is fair or even constitutional. Thank you for your attention to this matter. I don't really understand what this means. I mean, I get an idea, but I don't know what the blue slip is. Is this just a term, or is it actually a thing? Like a physical thing, like there's physically a blue slip of some kind that involved in preventing him from appointing these judges and generals. All right, my wonderful granddaughter just launched a new series on YouTube, One-on-One with Kai. For her inaugural episode, we filmed our golf match at Trump National Golf Club, Washington, D.C. She has incredible golfing talent and a bright future. Enjoy. We may watch this at the end if we run out of things to do. If you guys want to keep going for a little while, maybe watch some of it. But I think, no, we got a little bit more. We'll see. We'll see how it goes. The United States Air Force Academy Cadet Chapel has been a construction disaster from the time it was built in 1962. The earlier stories are that it leaked on day one, and that it was good part. Let's see, that's not that big, and that it was that the good part. Hundreds of millions of dollars have been spent. The renovation, which essentially has been going on since the day it was built, is now projected to go on until 2028, costing an additional $90 million, bringing the grand total to $335 million. This mess should be investigated. Very unfair to cadets, a complete architectural catastrophe. And he would know because he is a builder. He's a real estate guy. Interesting that he's a builder. I'll leave it at that. I have 8 great U.S. attorneys, highly respected all, who will not be confirmed for their positions in various highly consequential states only because they're Republicans. And the Democrats have convinced Chuck Grassley to honor the stupid and outdated blue slip tradition, which precludes very talented and dedicated people from attaining high office. The Democrats violate this practice in order to get people in, but Republicans just don't. These great people's career have been badly hurt by the radical left Democrats, using an old and ridiculous custom strictly to their advantage. What a shame. Yeah. Let's see. And that's it. That's actually all he posted. So we may come back to watch some of this video so that we can chat a little bit if you guys are into it. Maybe not. We'll see. Let's move on to our guy, Elon. Hit a refresh. Let's see. Keep updating your Grok app. Improvements are released almost every day. Good thread of Grok Imagine videos. And we don't need to watch those. Everything Elon Musk clarified today about the X algorithm powered by Grok. This will be interesting. X's recommendation system is evolving fast. All old heuristics will be deleted within 4 to 6 weeks. My understanding is because they couldn't fix them. They're too liberal. they're too Democrat or whatever, too unfair. So they're just getting rid of it. Grok will read every post and watch over 100 million videos per day to learn what users find interesting. Oh, that's interesting. I hope they're able to actually filter out some really inappropriate videos that come up from time to time. Its goal is to match each user with the content they're most likely to enjoy or engage with. Very cool. Very, very cool. This will help fix the small and new account problem where good posts often go unseen, which is kind of where we're at. I used to post on our X account. Now I just use it for streaming, and we periodically get people watching on the X stream. I don't even think right now we have anybody watching on the X stream. Can I tell? I can't tell. Yeah. Let's see. You'll soon be able to ask Grok directly to adjust your feed, either temporarily or permanently. Cool. Elon clarified that the algorithm does not randomly boost or hide posts. It simply assesses which posts are likely to interest users, similar to how a human judges content. Posts with bare links or little context will have weaker distribution, and the posts with strong, interesting descriptions or images will get better visibility. The system's only goal is to show users the most relevant and engaging content. Cool. Alrighty, let's see how the X algorithm really works. The algorithm doesn't boost or hide posts randomly. It just tries to figure out if your post will be interesting to people. That means if you post a plain link with no words, the algorithm doesn't have much to judge, so it won't show it to many people. Good to know. But if you add a good caption, image, or more context, it spreads more. Basically, the algorithm needs enough info to understand why your post matters, just like a human would. Fair enough. Let's see. The X recommendation system is evolving very rapidly. We are aiming for deletion of all heuristics within 4 to 6 weeks. Grok, okay, yeah, we already know this stuff. Cool. Oops. Go back. Alrighty. Why we think Elon's pay package could be a win-win-win. Grow the pie, create abundance. We're not going to watch this. It's 35 minutes long. I wonder if we can get Grok to give me a summary. Explain this post. Does that work here? So this software that I'm using, in order to like get the sound and handle the transitions and everything, the browser's a little funky, so like some buttons don't work. So apparently I can't have Grok explain this. Oh well. Let's see. Spooky season is finally here. I'm planning to trick everybody and keep treats to myself. A lot of Grok stuff. Don't need to know that. Starbase in Texas.
Everybody in the world to hear. You said I build bigger things than you do.
You do. The data centers are very enormous.
It all started in 2016. I announced the world's first AI supercomputer,
DGX.
The DGX-1.
The most advanced computer that anyone has ever built.
It was just crickets.
Crickets.
Except for one person.
I was like,
and it was you.
That sounds like a great idea.
So I built another DGX.
Great.
And this thing is mighty. This is the new DGX Spark.
So that's the whole thing? Wow.
5 times the computational power of DGX-1. 40 watts, not 4,000.
40, wow.
DGX-1 to DGX Spark. It's so fun hanging out. Thanks for having me.
Welcome to Starbase.
How's it going?
I have a whole new respect for this man. This is Jensen Huang from, he's the CEO of NVIDIA. And he sent a letter to President Trump when the hostages had been released, thanking him for one of their employees who was one of the hostages finally being released, which was just very touching. I have a whole new respect for this man. All right, what is this?
Mental change and like more. My name is Braylon, and I live here in Memphis. I've been noticing not just a slight change, more of a detrimental change in like how peaceful Memphis is ever since the National Guard came. There was a lot of things I couldn't do before the National Guard came because I had to worry a lot about guns and stuff. I couldn't play because I was worried that somebody might pull out a gun or something, but now I could do that, and I just wanted to thank the President of the United States for bringing the National Guard.
Wow.
My name is Braylon.
I couldn't play because I was worried somebody might pull out a gun or something. Yeah. Yep. All right, Zoran Mamdani. I never said that I want to defund the police. Oh, this is a list of all the posts. How many times he said he wants to defund the police. Defund Haram police, defund it, dismantle it, defund the police and build a socialistic network. Queer liberation means defund the police. No, we want to defund the police. Yeah, he's clearly lying. Yep. This is an old post. FSD 14.1.2 Mad Max slows for a deer sprinting across the road. What? Oh, Mad Max is so there's different profiles when you're driving, making the road safer for humans and wildlife alike. Interesting. Yeah, so there's profiles when you're driving with full self-driving turned on, where you can change it to like chill, standard, and then Mad Max. Mad Max is, and what they pretty much map to is which. So imagine you're on a 3-lane highway. It basically maps to which lane you would be in. So chill would be the far right lane. Standard would be in the middle. Mad Max would be always in the passing lane. So what he's saying here is that even so in the next version of full self-driving, that even if you're in Mad Max and it's doing everything it can to get you to your destination as fast as possible, it will still slow down for a deer, making everybody safer. Pretty cool. Day 16 and counting. Democrats' loyalty is to illegal aliens, not Americans. Poll finds more people are starting to blame Democrats for the shutdown. Good, as they should, because they are directly responsible for the shutdown. And people are about to start suffering. I was listening today. Every day I try and catch, what's going on in the House and the Senate and stuff like that. And today they were talking about Donald Trump found he got our military paid by tapping into an account that isn't really important and used for very much, but it's not going to last very long. They were stressing that, in three to 4 weeks, the military is going to be unpaid if they don't pass the funding initiative that they need to. Democrats are definitely responsible. They are holding it up 100%. Ugh. This weekend I'm going to play around with some of this video stuff. I have some ideas to these videos that I'm working on, which the software and what I'm doing today is part of that. I really want to start generating images to see if I can't start generating some of the scenes that I want to put into these videos that I'm working on. Pretty cool. Let's see. Never forget when El Salvador's president Bukele said, "Some complain that we put thousands in prison. In reality, we set millions free." Absolute mic drop. I think
ahora son los buenos. Ahora El Salvador priorizamos la seguridad de nuestros ciudadanos honestos.
All right, I don't speak Spanish. Here, I'll just read the captions here. El Salvador, we prioritize the security of honest citizens over the comfort of criminals. Some say we have put thousands in prison, but the reality is that we have set millions free. The good people now walk freely, without fear, and with full respect for their freedoms and human rights. And El Salvador, yeah. So another thing that he's done is he has done something with the prisons in El Salvador that are absolutely amazing and should be a template, an example to prisons all around the world. Before he was in power, the prisons were overrun with gangsters, filled with gangs, murders constantly, violence constantly, completely destroying the prisons. And since he's been in power, he's completely remodeled the way that they work to where now there's, and they've got a term for it, I don't remember what it is, but they have zero downtime. They are either sleeping or working or learning. And so they're in classes, learning a skill, and then, they're applying those skills and they're working on the prison, actually improving it and making it beautiful and pleasant. It's amazing. Watchable video volume is louder than you. Oh. Yeah, you know what? I do have it really high. Thank you for letting me know. Must be what these red lights are about. All right, we'll turn it down. It should be better next time. Yeah, so in the prison, so he's implementing some pretty amazing prison reform, and the gangs are completely dissolved. And a lot of people are losing that desire for violence. So it's a really good example of true reform. It's pretty amazing. All right, let's see. UK is becoming a third world country. Woman dragged to the beach and raped by asylum hotel migrants. That we're just hearing this time and time again. It's terrible. All right, Tesla news. DHL just held their supply chains now and next conference in Austin, Texas. And Tesla showcased the semi. Oh, I wanted to know about this. According to Malti Flegelskamp, product dev lead at Global DHS Supply Chain, they just had a successful trial phase, and DHL Supply Chain USA is now planning to integrate the Semi into their network as Tesla scales production in 2026. That's cool. This will actually help push the supercharger network into a better state, which the supercharger network, if you don't know, is where Teslas go to charge when they're traveling. And there's enough of them globally, especially in the United States. There's enough of them where you can go pretty much anywhere and not have to worry about range anxiety, which is when you may run out of power before you get to your destination. So there's a lot of superchargers. But what they lack is I think it's the version 4 superchargers, which are fast enough to charge a semi-truck. So I'm really excited for them to actually start putting these things into production. And the reason being is the Cybertruck can use the same superchargers, so I can actually charge my truck in 10 minutes rather than like 45 minutes. So I'm kind of excited about that. When traveling, because we travel a lot with our RV and with the horses and stuff like that. Yeah. Let's see, if you look at orcs and see people of color, that's a you problem. Lord of the Rings demonizes people of color. Huh. Lord of the Rings demonizes people of color, students are told. Okay. Weird. All right, what has Bill Maher got for us today?
And now 20% of its citizens are foreign-born, and its education system is tanking, and it has Europe's highest rate of gangland killings. And one result is that the far-right parties are in the government now there for the first time. To which liberals say blaming immigrants for the rising crime rate is racist. Yeah, but is it true? Of course it's true. It's not a coincidence the quality of life went down after the Somali gangs started a drug turf war using hand grenades. Calling it racist doesn't solve the problem. It hands future elections to someone who will solve the problem. Sweden opened its borders to over 1.5 million immigrants since 2010, and now 20% of its citizens are foreign-born, and its education system is...
Yeah, unrestrained immigration has consequences. I'm all for immigration. I'm all for people moving around to different countries, but under our current global politics and the way things work, you really got to vet people coming in and out of your country. Grok Imagine 9 update is insane. You can just literally generate any type of video and Grok Imagine makes it. I have created the best of the best videos using Grok Imagine. It is easily the most capable video generator right now. Is it? I'm going to have to play with that. I really want to see if I've got some scenes already prepared for the videos that I'm working on. Like there's one that I want to do to where it shows Revelation 4 to where you're looking down at the North Pole and you can see the 4 living creatures in the corner. I want to kind of animate that and illustrate that, see if we can't come up with something interesting. Stuff like that. The horses riding and showing how their spirits going forth to and fro in the earth. All right, while you sleep, your Tesla downloads a free software update that makes it better at supervised self-driving. True. Oh man, they just released a Tron mode that I absolutely love. You go. They have a toy box with stuff that makes your car really fun, and they're adding to it periodically. They just added a Tron mode, which the Teslas that have lights, it turns the inside red, and it puts a Tron motorcycle on the screen, and everywhere you drive on the road, it leaves like a little line behind you on the map. It's hilarious, and it's got some of the best sounds associated with it. For many years, Japan has been X's second biggest audience, with over half the country using the app. Today, we hit a 4-year high on the app store, clocking in at number 11. There's always room to grow. All right. Let's see, what is this?
Like conference necklaces.
Okay.
And I said, take it off. Look I just subscribed to ChatGPT. It's a seat-based model. You know that you probably pay.
Hey, come here. Nope. Play audio.
Model. You know that you probably pay $20 or $200. I just subscribed.
Is that what? Did you use that? Did you use that, by the way, to make that picture with Sam? It kind of that picture you guys had.
Grok. I said, because we were wearing like conference necklaces.
Okay.
And I said, take it off. And ChatGPT goes, oh, no. No. Copyright infringement. And then Grok said, great, I'll do that. And do you want me to put in the photo of the podcasters with you? I said, I'd like to do that also. Look at,
I do love Grok for generating images. ChatGPT is definitely woke. Very, 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 very woke. I can't stand using it. It's a little bit, it's sad because it's more mature. Because OpenAI and ChatGPT has been around longer, it can do a better job. But man, it's so hard to get the video, the images that you want. I use Grok to generate the thumbnails, which you probably figure that out. I don't know why Elon hasn't come up with a charging system that is built in, like as long as you are moving, it charges like a little generator. It does, actually. All Teslas, ever since the very beginning, have generators in the wheels. So the motors also double as generators to where it recaptures energy when you're coasting or when you're slowing down. And it contributes a couple miles when you're driving. You get a little bit of recaptured energy. But yeah, he talked about this, like one of the struggles of trying to increase the range in the Teslas is, people have been trying for like 1,000-mile electric car, and what they realized is that that the logistics of it aren't practical, because nobody drives for 1,000 miles straight. Everybody always stops every four, at the most. He gave some number. It's like at the most every 4 or 5 hours, which is at like the 300-mile mark. So they decided to focus on other things that are more important rather than trying to achieve 1,000 miles, because that's the practical distance. So they're designed that you have enough charge for the maximum that you should be sitting for any particular distance, and then when you get up and all the superchargers at a place that usually have a place to eat and a restroom and even some shopping sometimes. So that's encouraged, and there's incentives for stores to actually install superchargers as a result of that. So it's a whole system. But he has talked about, because somebody had asked, why didn't you put solar panels on the tonneau cover for the Cybertruck or on any of the roofs of your Teslas? Because there are some car manufacturers like Prius that have solar panels on them that, like on the Prius, the solar panel will run the air conditioner. And he said that the cost per payoff wasn't worth it for them. It may be something that they revisit later when solar panels get a little bit more efficient, but there's a maximum efficiency that they're going to get to, and it's not like they'll actually charge the car in any meaningful way. If they ever add them, it would probably take a week to charge your car if you had a solar panel on it. So if your car sits for long periods of time, a solar panel may be okay to have on there. Some people will use the luggage racks on Cybertrucks and mount solar panels, and they usually use it to like just run things. What was the other thing that he said? Yeah, there's a lot. I really enjoy electric vehicles. We never bought, we bought one. We originally bought a Prius because when gas prices were like $6, and then when we could finally afford a Tesla, we bought a Tesla. It was never to save the planet. It was simply to not pay gas. We were lucky enough to get one when our first Tesla, we got one when it had unlimited supercharging. So our first Tesla has free gas for life. It's completely paid off. We got it like 10 years ago. Finally, it's all completely paid off. But we tend to drive that one as like our puddle jumper, where we're going to do a lot of driving that kind of kills the battery, because then I just usually stop at the supercharger on the way home. Free gas. It's awesome. Like when I go to the gym, I always drive that one to go to the gym. Anywho, I think we're almost done with his feed here. Grok 3, Grok 4. Memes. All right, what is this? Oh, this is AI generated. That is pretty good. I can't wait until you can generate like 30 seconds to a minute video. That'll be really impressive. Let's see. Elon Musk to Wikipedia. Don't make me tap the sign. Grokopedia. Alrighty. The new era begins. The creative freedom Grok offers is exactly what content creators need. While safety guardrails matter, innovation happens when AI tools let us push boundaries responsibly. This flexibility could revolutionize how we approach automated content creation. Agreed. Yeah, I'm not afraid of AI. I know a lot of people are afraid of AI. A lot of people are saying that AI is going to completely eliminate certain jobs. I think we go through these growing pains at every time there's anything that's disruptive. You know, when we went from landline to cell phone, disruption. When we went from AOL to, broadband internet, disruption. There's just always been disruptions. But at the same time, it also opens up new things we never imagined. I think the same thing with AI. It's interesting that it's coming into play at the end time, though, like when there's so many like prophetic prophecies that are being fulfilled. I have to imagine that for me, it's an amazing tool. It allows me to get far more done in significantly less time. And, as we wait and watch for our Lord to return, we can do super amazing things with this stuff that could potentially win people over, like the videos that I'm working on to illustrate the data so that it's easier for people to digest and understand. Because one thing that I learned from watching Messiah 2030, that's an amazing video with, an amazing voice actor and amazing illustrations, but it's a lot of information that people tend to tune out at a certain point. And I understand. I'm sure people get the same way when I start getting into dates and calendars and, fulfillments and stuff like that, to where it's just like, if I could put it into an illustration or a video that's entertaining, I think, it'll reach a broader audience. So tools like this allow, somebody like me who has no animation skills, the ability to be able to do that. Made this with, oh my goodness. What the heck? What? Okay, that's offensive. I guess. I don't know what to think of that. Blood Shark Films. Okay. All right. Made with Grok Imagine. 18 hours ago. I use Grok every day and never disappoints. I gave Grok a paper I had written, and within seconds it was able to point out my mistakes. Then Grok gave me ideas on how to make it better. How cool is that? Yep. Grok for the win. If Elon Musk had fixed the shadow bans like he promised, I could make money here and be able to afford Premium Plus, which I had bought for a year because he promised that if we had bought it, he would fix the shadow bans and promote our posts, and we could make money from being on X. But nope, wasted over 2 years of premium and not eligible to make any money or get subscriber buttons. So just FYI, Elon isn't that great of a guy. Okay. Oh, we must be in a thread. I must have clicked on a post. This is somebody kind of pooping on Elon. Yeah, so people don't understand. This is Elon actually has complained about this very thing as well. This is why they are eliminating the algorithm that Twitter developed through the course of its years of growing, and why they're switching to Grok because X has built Grok from the ground up, and it is far more capable of accomplishing what this person waited 2 years for. So hopefully they stick around long enough to see the new algorithm. Okay. Already saw that. See, the people of Britain want change. So we are at the end. That's what Elon has. Oops. There we go. You guys have any questions you want to talk about? Quiet in the chat tonight. Well, we made it before sunset. If you don't have any burning questions that you want to talk about, we'll just call this an early night. Let me know. I'll wait here a few minutes. There's nobody chatting, so you can just post. I'm trying to figure out how to do the Discord server. So the Discord server, I don't know. Is anybody in here interested in the Discord server? The Discord server will allow us to chat offline, but it will also alert you when I go live or when we post videos and allow you to chat, even if you're not watching the show. It's pretty cool. Depending on how it goes, I don't know if we'll just make it available for everybody or if we put it behind like a membership, like a minimal membership to kind of restrain spammers and scammers, and then just hand out memberships to, people who may have an issue paying if there's any fee involved. I tend to try, I don't really like, especially after watching this series on the religion business, I'm really super reluctant to try and make any money with this channel. My objective, 100%, my primary goal with the Two Witnesses Live is to observe prophecies being fulfilled and presenting them in a way that people understand that they actually have been fulfilled. Because Jesus in John 14 says the reason that he told us these things before they happen is so that when they do begin to happen, we may believe. I know I don't have a problem believing, but there are people out there who don't believe. And there are people who don't believe that Yeshua is the Messiah. And especially the Jews, which I look at the Jews as the fathers. The Judaism is the father, the Genesis, the fathers of Christianity, right? Jesus was a Jew. Jesus came that we might have life and have it more abundantly, and taught us how to apply the Torah. And I think he fits everything they're looking for in the Messiah. They just don't believe that he was the Messiah. So I think that the things that are happening right now are so that they may believe. And likewise, the Christians who have massive numbers of problems, Jesus categorizes all of those who follow him into 7 categories. And 5 of those categories have problems that they need to deal with before he returns. Ephesus, Smyrna, Thyatira. No, it's not Smyrna. Smyrna doesn't have anything to repent from. It's Ephesus, Pergamum, Thyatira, Sardis, and Laodicea. Smyrna and Philadelphia, they ain't got nothing to repent from. Matter of fact, I think probably those who fall in the categories of Smyrna and Philadelphia are probably the 2 candlesticks, the part of the 2 witnesses. When in Revelation 11, where it says that the 2 witnesses are the 2 olive trees and 2 candlesticks, currently the way I'm viewing that is that the 2 olive trees are the 2 leaders, and the 2 candlesticks are the church. The 2 churches, Smyrna and Philadelphia, because they ain't got nothing to repent from. And Philadelphia is told that they will be kept from the trials coming on the world. So maybe that's what protecting the oil and the wine is, and not allowing the oil and the wine to be harmed. But I do believe that, the primary objective of this channel is to observe the prophecies being fulfilled, so that the fathers and the children can be reunited again, so that the Jews can believe that Yeshua is the Messiah. And once that happens, he'll probably return. I get the sense that what we're supposed to be doing is a lot like John the Baptist, what he did before Christ's first ministry, before he first came. John the Baptist prepared the way. You know, he preached about the coming of the Messiah. He baptized people to physically, to give them a physical representation of what he was going to do. He was going to clean away the sin. And I think that, you know, history repeats itself. So it stands to reason to me that that's what our purpose is for the next 3 years, is to be like John the Baptist, prepare the way for the return of the Messiah, and come together. Zechariah 2 says, come out of the daughter of Babylon. So those who follow Yeshua, that's part of coming out of the daughter of Babylon, is repenting from those things that are written in Revelation 2 and 3. The 7 churches, 5 of you guys got problems to resolve. Be like, and be like the examples. Be like Smyrna and Philadelphia. Learn how to love God and love your neighbor as yourself. I don't see any new questions. So I think we're just going to call it there. Thank you, everybody, for joining me. Looking forward to seeing you again on Monday. And if there's anything that happens, I'll hop back on here. With this new system, I can actually hop on much easier than the way I've previously been doing it. Previously, I actually have to set up the stream in order to go live. This one, I can just click a button anytime I want and just go live, and it just automatically goes out to all the streams. So we're advancing. We're getting better. Pretty soon, we're going to be broadcasting to like 40 different platforms. That's kind of one of the objectives of doing this as well, is not only does it give me all the resources to be able to do more with the videos, but it will also enables us to connect into different platforms like TikTok and Twitch and any place people are willing to watch this. So hopefully we can reach more people and help prepare the way for the return of the Messiah. Yeah. Well, God bless you guys. Shalom, shalom.